Howdy everyone. All right, so I've still been fooling around with this structure area that goes up here with cleaning up parts and deburring and things like that. The other thing that I've decided to do, which a lot of people do, these pieces here, these come in the kit like this piece here. This is one that I had messed up a while ago drilling holes, so it is now scrap. But that's what the piece looks like. And what a lot of people do is they will cut right along this edge. They'll cut this off. You'll want to cut it so that you've got good edge space, edge distance with these holes here. So obviously you want to cut on this far side of the hole and leave yourself some good edge distance. But they'll cut this piece off, which is what these two pieces here represent. Those are the cut off pieces. Those pieces are basically what are behind the instrument panel. So if you can imagine, the instrument panel is here. Behind that is where those pieces go, and they run from the instrument panel back to the firewall. A lot of people will cut those off and then relocate them because they're kind of in an inconvenient location. They're kind of right where you would like to put some instrumentation. So people will lop them off and then either reuse those in a different spot, or they'll just make their own custom brackets to fit wherever they need them to fit. I did talk to Vans and I asked if it was okay to leave that instrument panel completely unsupported. The panel itself is pretty thick. It's got, I'll just show you. The panel material is pretty thick. It's got this heavy angle piece that runs across the entire top, and then the instrument panel itself at this edge is bent in a 90-degree angle. So this is pretty stout. But I talked to Vans and asked them if it was cool to leave that completely unsupported across the span of the fuselage, and they don't recommend it. So I will be making or reusing some kind of supports to go from the instrument panel to the sub panel to reinforce it. But I'm not there yet. I don't know where I'm going to put my avionics, so I don't know where those supports are going to go. So that's what I've been working on. While I've been working on that, I've been thinking a lot about, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing going here a little bit. I don't want to put this structure in permanently. Definitely don't want to put the skin on. I can't rivet the skin to the firewall because I don't have, I'm going to do the hinge method of attaching the cowling. So I don't know where and how I'm going to attach the hinges yet. So I can't put the skin on, so I can't rivet this. I wouldn't want the skin in anyway because I still need to do work down in here. The majority of that work is going to run through this center section right through here underneath that cover that my boost pump is mounted to. A lot of the wiring from the fuselage is going to come right through there and then up the front of the firewall and then back out up high above my feet. It's going to come back out and connect to the different instruments that are going to be in here. So I've got some wiring that needs to run through here. So I don't want to put this structure on. I was also thinking about, well, what about the wiring from the wings? The wings are going to attach through the fuselage, and the landing lights and the heated pitot and whatever else, all those wires got to come through. Well, where are those going to go? Well, I've been looking at it, and I'm going to run mine through this double bulkhead spar over into the center section, and then again I'm going to run everything down through this center area here underneath the boost pump mounting pieces. So if I'm going to be running wires under here from the wings, when can I finally install my center console, my boost pump, hook up the fuel lines, and then put this on, right? I don't want all of that in place when I go to rivet this structure on, because I got to get up underneath here and I want as much room under here to get to these rivets as I can get. I don't want my center console and everything in the way. But I can't put this, I don't want to put this on first, because with that support structure now here, I can't get down into here easily enough to install anything. So here's what I've decided to do. I've decided I am not going to run a continuous run of wire from the wings through the fuselage and around and into my instruments. What I'm going to do is what you see here. I'm going to use a connector, and I'm going to have it mounted to the fuselage. I'll put a pigtail on the wing, and then of course when I attach the wing, I'll take that pigtail, plug it into this socket, and then I'll secure them to each other so it can't unplug itself. I'm not there yet. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. But for now, I've got this. This is just laid in here. It's not actually screwed down, but I just wanted to test fit it. I have to do this on the other side as well. But my plan, of course, doing it this way is this. With this in place, I can run all of my wing wires from this location through the spar area, or just in front of the spar through here, down the center section, and then I can leave plenty of length out here so I can make my connections to my avionics. So I can run both wing wires. All the wiring harnesses for both wings can now be run from that connector through the center section and out into this area with plenty to spare. Then I can finish up all my other wiring on the fuselage and run everything that I need to run. I can put my cover plate down. I can install the boost pump and the fuel lines, put my center console over top of that, run whatever lights I want to run, blah, blah, blah. And then that will be completely done. Then I can put this structure on and work on my avionics, and I'll have all the wires up through this way to make all my connections. So I've kind of shifted gears a little bit, which is fine because I was getting kind of burned out on edge finishing and all that nonsense. So I decided to go back to doing some wiring. So that one is now finished. And all I had done was take a large diameter rat tail file, and I started with this hole here. And I just elongated this hole large enough so I can get that D-sub connector here. So I'll have to do that next. This side will have to be filed out, and then I'll make sure that the D-sub connector will fit. And then of course I'll have to do all the wiring. So I had left wires long enough on my wings to go from the wings all the way through the fuselage up to the instrument panel. You can see that here. So these are the wires that are actually coming out of the wings. So what I'm going to do at this point, from the wing, I'll leave a nice long length of wire, and I'll cut these at some point. I'll just cut these off. And then the rest of this is what I'll use to wire the connector that's now on the fuselage for both sides. And at that point, like I said, this will be permanently connected, and then I'll route all the wires through the center and up. And then when I get the rest of the wiring done through the fuselage, this can all this work down in here can be put in permanently. And then I can put the structure in, and then I can start locating my avionics. Okay? So let me get to work on the other side, and then I'm going to start wiring up these D-subs, and at some point I'll come back and show you what I've got. All right, talk to you later.